Okay, so now that we've done some probing and constructed a coordinate system, we need to be able to collect some scan data. So in order to do that, let's first hide the majority of the features we probed, except for those that we're using for our coordinate system. Use the middle mouse button to do that. And we can also use the middle mouse button on our probe data as well to hide that. Okay, so now when we use the scanner, we need to use the plug-in here for the laser line probe, and we'll bring up this dialog over here on the left hand side. Generally speaking, you can focus on surface data, so that'll be our selection mechanism here. And then as you scan, if you're all in the same position, you can really just keep the data compartmentalized under data here in one group. However, you could have it create new if you move it to compartmentalize it into different groups. Before we're ready to start scanning using this button right here, we need to make sure we have it tuned for the surface visually that we're going to be shooting. So to do that, we're going to actually use this button here and go to Scanner Control. And in here, essentially what we need to do is decide if we want to use fixed or an automatic exposure setting. I'm going to recommend for right now that you use fixed exposure and run through how to get a good fixed exposure setting for whatever surface you're utilizing. Using some of these automatics are pretty straightforward and easy to follow. I'll let you experiment with those on your own. Here we'll set it to fixed, and then we will pick up the arm from rest position, kind of get it ready to shoot. And we'll put it right in, we'll aim it at whatever we're going to be scanning and put it right in the sweet spot. And then we're going to just click on Auto. And essentially what it's going to do is vary the settings until it gets the optimal return of data that it sees. When it comes back to us here, I'm pointing at a dull black surface, so the intensity of the exposure is pretty high. The time on it is pretty long, 70 milliseconds. And we can tell that we have a reasonably good setting because we're getting a nice solid red line when we point it at the part. And we'll say, okay. And here we could even do a save as and type the value here as say demo test. We'll save that and say okay. And then from there, we will just say start the scan. And then it's just like spray painting. We're going to squeeze the button, release it, and it goes into scan mode. We're going to slowly and steadily traverse the part. You see the data shows up on screen. We'll hit the button to pause, and then hit the button again and traverse back in the other direction. It's important when you're scanning that you traverse the part evenly in one direction. You don't want to be moving along like this and just dwell, typically. And also, you don't want to be moving along and go even back over your path in the same scan path. If you needed to do that, you would go scan and move left to right, hit the green button to pause, and then scan and go back left, right to left. This going back and forth within the same scan pass is called scrubbing and is a definite no-no. And essentially when you're finished here, when you're done collecting data, you can hit the red button. It'll process the data, render it on screen, and you're all set.